Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bhajan.
So, in today's session, we will be learning about how to create a new form in Power Apps. But before that, I will be also including some topics from the session 24, that is like setting environment variable. Because we will be building a package to end to deploy the solution at the last. So some are the crucial concepts before we build the forms in Power Apps. So basically, it depends on your role. If you are a Power Platform solution architect, then you would be setting up the solution package with environment variable, or else, you know, it will be like if you have the dedicated architect on Power Platform, he will build this solution package and the variables, and then he will create the different screen for the apps. Then you have to start building the forms for these respective apps. So let me share my screen. So let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yes, it's visible.
So in the beginning, what I will do, I will just change my environment from default to my personal dev environment. And then I will come to the solution gallery. And here I will create a new solution. I will give a name as Power BI request app. And I will select the publisher. So here I have a different publisher. So I will create a new publisher. I'll just give my name. You can give anything. You can give Novico solution. It depends where you are building the package. And I will click on to save. Then it will get my publishing information. Then I can click on to more, and here I will be having the if I have to set any configuration page. Right now this option is not completely activated by Microsoft. Then I will click on to create. Now my solution package is created. Now I will click on to that. Right now you see my solution package is empty. It doesn't have any apps or any cloud flows. So we are not going to make any chatbots. If at all you are using a Dataverse, then whatever tables you create under Dataverse will be enlisted over here. So this entire package will be shipped to your production environment. So right now, because I have to create like 3 apps and one Power Automate flow, this would be my existing environment. I will click on to new. Here I will get a different option. I can create an app, I can create a Power Automate flow, I can create a chatbot, a dashboard, a report. This is basically for Power BI. If I have to configure anything on the security for this solution package, then the table, then I have the other options like choices, component library. This is in preview mode. This is not fully fledged released. Connection references, role, environment variable. I can create a new environment variable. Then the settings, then templates, web resource, others. So right now I will just create an app and I will click on to Canvas app. So it will give me information what kind of app I'm going to create. So I will give it as Power BI request dashboard submitter app. Click on to create. It will start creating. Parallelly, also I will open another tab while that action is happening. and then I will come to my dev environment. I will come to my solution package. I will open this package so I can keep eye on my package. So right now this app is created, but still my app is not saved yet. So what I will do, I'll just rename the screen. I will give it as SCRN submitter. And another change what I would like to make in this app is that I'll come to the settings. Over here, like we have the threshold limit for data. Whenever we are retrieving any data from any list, it will retrieve only 500 records of that list, or any table or etc. So max it can be increased, like it can be increased up to 2000. Then we can leverage some activity in the code and we can get more data. So I will make it 2000 right now. So on load of app, it will get 2000 data in one shot. Then I will like debug publishing. We have the different security settings. So one of that is automatically create environment variables when adding the data source. So otherwise you have to come to the solution package, you have to create a environment variable, and then you have to connect to your SharePoint site. You have to create one variable for your SharePoint site, one variable for your list or a library. You have to create manually. But when you activate this option, automatically create environment variable when adding the data source, Power Apps will take care of this activity. And then I will click on to close. It will be closed. Then now I will just add one header, that would be a label. I will name the change as a submitter app, and then I will make its size as a 20, center aligned, bold. And now what I will do, I'll just change the my background color. And also by the time I'll also come to my home and I'll just change my theme to coral. Change it to coral, and I will select this coral color over here. And the font color, I will make it white. So my header has been created. So header is a main component. So I will rename this label as label. Label is created. Now I will just save my app, because I'm saving it for first time. I will save it. Okay, so now let me reshare my screen. So yeah, now app has been created. Now when I come to app section, I can see my app, and all my app is showing up. So let me do a refresh. So yeah, so if you see, my app is been created. So under all, I can see everything like app flows, etc., even variables. These are the different sections uh, re- for those particular solution. Right now, I will be linking this Power BI request list onto this app. And then before I link it, I have to add some more columns. One would be like a request status. So that would be like a single line of text. Status. Yeah, now you know like why I renamed it as a single word, because I want to differentiate between my internal variable and external internal name and external name of this list. So you can see this as a request list. Now it is a request status. So now let me give a small space into this. Let me click OK. Now if I come back to my same field, and if I see, now you see the internal name is not changed, but external name is changed. So because we are using this request status variable for our workflow logic, so I just rename this column as such. Next would be like submitters clicked. Again, this is also one of the logic field in our code, which will be available only for the developer and SharePoint administrator, not the all business users. Next one would be like approver clicked. Approver clicked. Click on to save. Now it is saved. Also, you know, I've renamed my title column to request number, and title column will be mandatory by default. So I've made it non-mandatory in the earlier session. I've shown this to you how I've created this video. You can just go back to the same video and you can give a look back. So now my request is created. So in this app, you know, whenever user is requesting for change dashboard, this right now this change dashboard is a single line of text. I have to make a drop down, and I have to list all the dashboard which has been submitted as a new dashboard. Once it is approved, then it makes an entry in the change dashboard list. So I have to create another list that will be like a change dashboard list. Change dashboard. I want to create. My list is created, so already we have this title column, so I will be leveraging this title column. So what I will be doing, rather than that this required field will throw out an error, so again I will be making this as non required field, because you know in some cases we are just making a change dashboard, so it should not update the same record. So let me make it no. So I have created both the list. Now I have to link this list into the app. Already you guys are aware, you know how we create this app. But once we link both the list, you know the two variables will be created under the solution package. So let me come to my data source. me, Let me select my SharePoint data connector. Connect. BI request. Let me select my both the lists. Going to connect. Here one or more environment is created. Click here to manage them. Now when I come back to my solution pack, let me give a refresh, because this was the first instance. So more than one variable will be created. Right now it will create a three variables. So you can see now new section has come up, that is environment variable. Here you can see the variables. So let me go to the environment variable section. So you know whenever we create any new variable in Power Apps, this first variable would be pointing to our SharePoint site, then this second variable to our list, and this third label if we have any other kind of lookup list. You can look up n number of your list, and then you can also create manually these variables. So let me edit this, because here you know like I just want to change my display name of my variable. So instead of this as a URL, so I will give it as a site. I will just change it to site URL. So main reference of our URL will be here in this drop down. So here we have an option: remove this from solution, delete this from environment. Remove this. If you give remove this from this solution, value will be removed from this solution, and it will be helpful for you to deploy the package. If you click on to delete this from this environment, this entire variable will be deleted from the environment from this environment, and your application will get crashed. So keep this in mind whenever you are building a final package. Click on to remove from the solution. So only the reference of your current site will be removed, so that once you push the package to your production environment, you can relink the your URL, your list name, etc. So let me save it. So now my URL has been renamed. So here I've referenced my both the lists. So now first let me add a new form by coming to insert menu, and here I have form. I will click on to edit. And just align your form. Come to this menu, preview. Here it will be form. Rename this form to FRM submit. So why I am renaming this? Because if I have to invoke this form somewhere in my code, so it would be very helpful rather than form 1, 2, 3, etc. I will know this is my submit form, so I can get my submit form. So now let me point it to my SharePoint list, that is like Power BI request. Now all my fields within the list has been populated, and here instead of edit, let me make it as new. So now this is a new form. There will be three modes in the form: edit, new, and view. New will be for creating a new record, edit will be for editing the records, view is only for the viewing the records. Apart from that, I can also change my orientation from 3 to 2. We'll keep it 3 vertical to horizontal. So here we have the different option that Power Apps gives to us. But before you change vertical orientation or horizontal layout orientations, you just decide which field you want to keep it in your form and which you want to remove it. Click on to edit fields. Then title is basically my request number, because I've renamed the external name of the title field. The internal name is still a request number. So let me remove this. So next would be requester name. The submitter will be filling this. Manager's name will be filled by the submitter. Dashboard type will be filled by submitter. New dashboard, change dashboard, everything will be filled by submitter. Requester comment. So this, because this is a submitter's page, manager's comment is not required over here. Then request status, because this is a logic field, it should not be visible in the form. I will remove it. Submitter click is also a logic field. I will remove it. Approver clicked, I will also remove it. Logic field. Attachment, if your form requires an attachment, then you keep this attachment control, or you can remove this. Now if you see, my requested comment is a multi-line text, but it looks like a single line of text. Again, I will click on to this edit, but here on the left hand side there is an arrow. I will click on to that. I will click on to this drop down, edit text, and I will make it as edit multi-line text. So now if you see, orientation of my single line of text is changed to multi-line text. So this is how you can translate the control from a single line of text, or if it is like a single line of text, you want to make a drop down, you can manipulate these changes over there, or you can delete that control and you can add that control. Let me show you in the next step how we achieve that. So now let me zoom my app, so for the better view. So here I have my requester name. So whenever request is submitted, like if you see this under forms, we have this data card request name underscore data card 1. So here, if you verify correctly, this is a label under this data card, and then we have this control. This control will basically help us. This is where our data will be stored, and then we have star visible. Right now it is not visible. Here it is like pointing, if you want to make the control mandatory or non-mandatory, this will be visible once you change the property of this data card. Then you have the error message. This error message will shoot out whenever you make a control as a mandatory and you don't fill out the control. It will give an error message out. So these are the pre-built controls will be created automatically under data card, and you can also manipulate the data card as well. So right now what I will do, I will make this requester name and manager name as a mandatory field in my SharePoint list. So I will click onto this data card and I will come to this advanced properties. I will unlock this. So here I have this required false. I will make it as required true. Now it is true. So you can see that star visible is appearing over here. Again, I will select my second data card manager. So see, basically because I'm toggling this data card because of my experience. If you are not able, just make sure that you are toggling only the data card, not the control. If you are not confident enough, just if you are in the data card one, click on to manager name underscore data card or whatever approver field you have kept. Click on to the data card, it will point to the data card. We'll click on to advanced, unlock it. I will make it true. So now these my both fields are right now it is true, and I will be submitting same data onto my list. But because I have my secondary, now if I preview this app, if you see this dashboard type is because I've kept this dashboard type as a choice field in my list, so it has come automatically as a drop down. But I want my change dashboard to be a drop down pointing to this change dashboard list. So basically what I will be doing over here, I will be adding some dashboard data like finance dashboard, dashboard, HR dashboard, dashboard. Let me save it. So because right now I'm just placing the two records, so my app should get fetch this data on the load of the app. So what I have to tweak some changes in my app. So I have to come to this app section over here, and then here we have one property on start. On start of my application, my Power App should query this list and get all the available dashboard, and it should bind into a collection. That collection will be utilized by this change dashboard control. So what I will do, I will come back to my app on start. So we have a command called clear collect. So we have clear collect and collect function in Power Apps. Clear collect will initialize your collections if at all you are creating a collection for first time, and collect will get the additional data from the collection if you want to get it. So this is how we manipulate. Once you collect, initially when we declare a collection variable for first time, we always use the clear collect, and to reuse that collection variable to append some new entry or to refresh, we always use the collect function. This depends totally how you are using these commands in your application. Clear connect, then it will show me the list that is available. So my list is change dashboard, and then like clear collect, I can give a criteria. I can give the item that is a condition. If I have to filter the request based on some criteria, I can give it, but right now I don't have any criteria to this. So before, yeah, this sorry, there is a mistake. So first I have to declare my collection variable. So I'll give it as call change dash code, comma, Yes. So your first parameter would be your collection variable, and the second parameter would be your data source from where you want to fetch the record. So my data source is a SharePoint list. So I will get it, and if I give another comma, I can uh, give a collection multiple variable. So right now I have to get the data from one dashboard. So this would be my command. So yeah, just I want to see whether my collection will get the data or not for first time. So basically, I will come to I will the run on start. It will give you, if you want to preview your any activity on your variable has been initialized or not. You can do a testing. So I will click on files menu. Here I have the collection section. So here I can see the first five record sampled record from my list. So it is querying my list, and it is getting the data, so I can see it from my title. So also it is getting all the other field of my SharePoint list, you know. Now I will come to my change dashboard data card, and I have to manipulate this data card. Before that, firstly, what I will do, I will just unlock this data card, and then I will point to this data card value. This control name is data card value 6. So let me copy this, and let me paste it into a notepad, because I will be removing this control out, and I will be adding a new drop down control. So yeah, so I will select this control, and when you select this control, make sure you verify it is pointing to this control, not to any other component of your data card. So like I want to delete this control. After unlocking, you can toggle any control. So I will click on to delete. Now my control is deleted. After deletion, I will get these two errors, but not to worry. Let me click on to input, and here I have the, I can use drop down or a combo box, anything. The better would be a combo box, but for this demo, I will use a drop down, because already I have two combo box over here. That is my request name and manager's name. So here my control has been added. So let me copy back this name once again. Let me click on to this. Let me, yeah. Now one error has been saved. So there is still one error. So either you can click on to this and you can edit this formula bar, or you can click on to the stethoscope icon. You can come to this formula. You can do it in both the ways. So here, if you see, it is update property of this data card is pointing to data card value 6. But the text property will be used only by the text controls. But right now I've changed the control type from text to a to a drop down. So I have to manipulate this. But before that, let me change my data source of my drop down. Let me come to properties. So here I can see my list, and list I can point to my list directly, but the better way would be pointing to collection. Once I do that, now here I have to change my property, because now if you see in a preview, if I point this right now, compliance ID is like an internal column of your SharePoint list. So I will just change this to title field. So you can see now finance dashboard data has popped up over here. Also, you can point it to your SharePoint list ID. But for this app, we need title. So now the data has been added. Now I will click on to this formula, and then what I will do, I will just keep data card value 6, and I will give a dot. So here I will get selected text dot title. Once you make this error will move out. So now your application doesn't have any kind of error over here. So the now last activity in my Power App would be adding a submit button onto my form. So I will click on to button. I will position it to center of my app. Then I will rename my control to btn submit. Submit, and then also you can bold your text. So now you just see it in the preview, your form is ready. and then now like before that, let me also preview this app. Okay, still open my app in edit mode. So let me come, okay, let me do one more thing. Let me come to my Power App. So right now, let me point it back my personal tenant, and then let me come to app. So in my personal tenant, once my app is been set up in my variable, I can see it in app gallery as well. If at all you are the application consumer or application developer, you can see this app and you will get this notification. This is a developer environment. This is for the development and test purposes only. So that would be fine. So now what I will do, I will just add this submit button. Now I will give a logic for my submit action. So I will click onto this button. So then for button, in other programming language we have on click event. In Power Apps it is not on click, but it's on select event. We will be giving it, and then there is a function called submit form, and I will be giving form submit. So I will be closing this in. So after this, if my submission is having any error, like this required field error, it should notify that is an error. So when I point back to my form control in Power Apps, there are two properties. That is, one is three properties: on failure, on reset, and on success. So basically what I will do, I will leverage on failure, and here I will just invoke notify function. Notify function is basically to give you notification of different kinds. Notify, I will give my message error ampersand. I will invoke my form dot. So here form will have an internal function, that method of error. I can invoke that to get my error message. This is like I'm doing a exceptional handing into my form. I'll click next. So what kind of notification type I want to give it? There are four kinds. That is like error, information, success, warning. Warning will be coming in a gray color tone. What you have seen just now, this is an app and development environment, only development and test purposes. That is a notification message what I've received. So warning will be in a gray color, success will be in a green, information will be in a blue, and error would be in red. Earlier warning was always to be in yellow, but right now Microsoft changed the color coding. So I will make it as a notification type error. I will close this. So now my action has been set up onto this form. But to see the latest change in my app, what I will do, I will just this is another debugging step that I've said in my previous session. I'll show you in the next session. So once you make the change into your app and you publish it, to change your, to see your new changes that has been reflected or not while in a published mode, you have to do something like this. Whenever you make change, just increment this number for the temporary ping, and once finally if everything is fine, you think that okay, my submitter app is okay, then just remove that number and republish the app. So everything will be sorted out. So let me save it, and let me publish this app. So now my app is published. Submitter app is published. So let me click onto app. You can still see that my new changes has been not reflected. This is why I had given that number. So let me do a control R or control F5 a couple of times. So now we can see my changes are available over here. So right now, let me show you the notify, how it is invoked. So let me not fill this requester name or manager's name. Let me just click on to submit. So you can see here how the, because I've set my notification method, you can see notification message has come up, and here there is requester name, manager name. So now what I will do, I will just enter my name, CV Prasad. We'll make it as a new dashboard test. You can select any kind of because right now this is of new dashboard, so this change dashboard is not relevant. To just to make the test whether it is submitting successfully or not, let me submit this request. So my request has been submitted. There are some still changes has to be verified. So let me come to my submission list. So yeah, now my new request has been successfully submitted. So what I will do, I will just delete all my previous submitted requests so that everything would be clear. So yes, here you can see, like up to my requesters comment, everything has been successfully captured. So, you know, now the next phase would be like to capture this request number, to get this request status and submitter clicked. So these are the action that I have to configure on my app. So now to leverage this activity, if my form submission is successful, then I have to invoke the next property of my form, that is on success. So let me point it to on success. So on success it will be false. So now here I have to make the changes. So each SharePoint record, as I've said earlier, it will be having its own unique ID. So I will be leveraging this ID control onto my SharePoint request, into my onto my SharePoint request. So what I will be doing, I will be coming to on success. So I will be invoking the set method, set function. Set function is basically used to set the variable, and also also to set a variable and append new data onto your variable. It is like it is for used for declaring and assigning the initializing as well as uh, assigning the values. You can all the variable related activity in Power Apps is done using a set function. So I will give it as a where id, comma, then I will invoke my form submit dot last submit. So my whatever the last instance of my submitted data of this form submit should be invoked, and I should get the ID value. Also, I can get a title, a requester's name, manager's name, comments, etc. by invocation of last submit. So now this is done. So this is my first activity. After this semicolon says that end of this activity, and I will give a alt enter for next line. And then I will be invoking patch function for my next activity. That would be patch. Then I will be selecting my data source, that is my power request, comma. Then I have to give my record. That would be like opening a curly braces. I will be giving ID, and I will be using value function over here, value function, and I will be giving where ID. So why I am using a value function and closing of my open parenthesis. So why I am here using value function? Because where ID would get, even though my ID is in SharePoint list is a numeric, I'm getting and I'm saving it my set variable, and in Power Apps the variable would be of type text or object. Now when I'm comparing my ID with my SharePoint list, it should be of type numeric. So I am saying I'm converting my object type variable into a numeric. You might have used in C# programming toString, or in to integer, convert 32 to integer. We are doing a conversion from textual format to a numeric format by using a value function. So then I will give a comma, then I will give the whatever record I want to update in my SharePoint list. So first thing would be my title. So title, that would be like something like this, because this is like Power BI request dashboard submitter app. So Power BI request dashboard. So I will take first character of each word, PBD space hyphen space double quote space ampersand where ID. So this will generate a unique sequence of text to me. Then I will update my request status, and I will submit it as a submitted. Then no, I will not make it as submitted. I will make it as in review. That will sound something professional. In review, and my submitter clicked. Submitter click. That is clicked. I will close this, and then I will close this patch function. I will give a alt enter. After successfully this app is been submitted into my SharePoint list, I should come out of this app. So let me copy the home URL of my site. Let me go back to my list once again. Let me come back to app. So here we have last function, that is launch. I've also said about this in my last session, launch, and I will give a double quote. The first parameter would be address. We can give any address, not only it is like SharePoint site, we can give it like any external site like Gmail, Google, Yahoo, etc. as well. Then like if we have any query string parameters, then we can give it. If it is empty, then give a curly opening and closing curly braces, saying that we don't have any query string parameters. And then we have to give a launch target. Launch target. So here, once we give launch target, and when you give a dot, we get two options: new or replace. New, it will open up the our site in a new tab. Replace will replace the current tab screen. So I have to give it as a replace, and let me close this. So now here we have made all the changes that is necessary for the development of this app. Before I publish, let me save change my number, and let me come to my files menu, save this, and publish this. Now my version is published. Now my version is published. So yeah. Also, let me do a let me do a Control R on this app. So now my because this app doesn't have much data, we got this screen quickly. Let me fill this out. So yeah, let me change the requester's name to Adelaide. Adelaide manager Devi Prasad dashboard test 2 test and let me submit it. So now my data is submitted successfully, and I'm out of my app screen. Let me close this tab. Let me refresh my list. So you can see now, to whatever request number I've generated, that is here. And when I come to an end, I can see my request status and submitter clicked. So this is where my changes in my request form is being done. So next, what I have to do, I have to beautify my app still further, and I have to live link this app onto my home screen of my SharePoint site. So when I come to my home, here, when I come to my Power Apps, when I click on to this ellipsis after my app name, I get an option details. I will click onto this details, and I will be like selecting this URL. I have to select this URL before this query string, before this question mark. I can ignore the remaining part because that's the tenant ID. I need only up to my app ID. Let me copy this. Let me come to my home page. Let me click on to edit. So what I will do, because here I have one panel, let me delete this panel, and let me one minute. So let me select my quick link list. So here is my quick link list. I'll click on to add a link. From link, I will just give link of my Power Apps. I'll click on to insert. So it is showing that apps.powerapps.com. So I just select this name. I will just paste it. And I will change my ad icon that matches to something similar. Plus insert, and then let me publish this. So now my app would be ready in my home screen. Also, let me share this app with the user account Adele. Check this. Let me share it. Now let me come into the site as Adele and refresh this. So here I have my Power Apps. Let me click onto that. Now, and here I will make a submission. I will submit this. So data has been submitted, and in the list, new request is submitted in name of Adele. So this is how I can configure my submitters app. So any questions on this?
Yes, Devi, I have one question. This patch functions modifies a single record, or can we?
It can be used for insertion of the new record as well as patching the single existing single record or multiple record. This is how you write your patch functions, Ravish.
Okay, okay.
Patch is like both. It works like an insert and update. So right now we are leveraging Power Apps forms control. If at all you are going with the independent control like independent label text boxes, right? You have to take on the submit action. You have to utilize patch function, and there more programming is involved. Here programming would be very less than that.
Even for the multiple record, the syntax would be the same, right? We don't have to use any other function
No, nothing.
for
Patch, yeah,
modifying.
patch function. Like if at all you are updating, if at all you are creating a new record, if you have seen this command, you know, on success. I'm sorry, this ID. If it is a new record, then it is similarly like what you have in a launch. It would be empty, or defaults, and then your list name. So this is how it will this orientation will change from globally, because for European region there is other set of complaints, so it will take an empty curly braces, whereas the rest of the world it will like take defaults, and within the defaults function it will take your list name, so indicating that is for the request for the new record.
Okay, Devi.
Yeah, any other questions? Hello.
No, Devi.
Oh, Okay then. So yeah, because if anyone doesn't have any question tomorrow, because tomorrow what I will do, this session was planned for tomorrow. So tomorrow I will show the beautification of the submitter app, like adding some progress bar and making some fine tuning in the app, so that I will not be including because this would be this process you have to include in all of your forms, like like your approval form, your resubmitter forms, whatever we carry out tomorrow. You have to use the same things for adding a progress bar and for getting the data. These concepts let's see tomorrow, and by tomorrow we will be closing the submitters form. So you can please make sure that you build your own, come up with your own idea of your own app. Here I've shown some few controls. You can add multiple types of controls onto your form. You can try it out, but come up with your own unique idea. Please do not make a discussion. If user A does something, please do not replicate as a user B, or whatever I'm doing over here. Please do not replicate it. Please come something with your own independent idea onto the app. You have various concepts. Think about some approval process where you have one level approval or a two level approval. You can decide number of level of approval. Just to show you the demo, I will be using one level of approval. In a real time we will be having multi levels of approval, so you can think it and you can just start building your own app. Because by Friday you will be in a pretty good shape, that by Friday you should show me your submitters, your approvers, and your resubmitter, three apps, because three of the apps requires more time, and you have to demo all three things over here. So please give it a try, and please be in pace. Thank you. Let's meet tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, David.
Devi.